Hey, Rose.
Hi, Jody. Welcome back from your trip.
Thank you. It was so amazing. So I just got back from France and went to Paris and then the Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera, which is pretty fancy, but it's also Mary Magdalene's
Wow, that's beautiful.
place. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it was like a pilgrimage too.
yeah.
And so my partner and I each got nice things. Like she likes the fancy stuff, and so we went to the opera house
Oh,
in
nice.
Paris, but then we also went to like amazing cathedrals and um,
Wow, that's beautiful.
she liked Monaco. I liked the hike up to Mary's Cave. We both got something
You
out of it.
balance,
Yeah,
yeah, you balance each
yeah,
other. That's nice. That's nice. Great.
it was really nice. And and you and I were kept contact a little bit here and there while I was gone, but it
Mhm.
sounds like you were busy getting a
Yes,
lot of messages and a
I
lot
was.
of downloads where you were too. Like for me, it was a lot of grid work
Hmm.
and information in that way. And we can talk about that some other time, like what the grid work was and
Sure. Okay.
you going to Mount Shasta and that kind of stuff. But for now, it looks like you have gotten a very important or a couple very important messages about our dormant DNA
Yes,
that
yes.
people really might like to hear about.
Right. So I did receive a channeled message while I was in meditation from a being called Jiza, and she has actually come in before in my meditations. She is of the highest vibrational light, the crystalline light. And this is her message that she said to me while I was meditating. She said, this is a light code of the crystalline light, the highest vibration in the universe. It is of purity and cleanse. This DNA activation is for dormant frequencies within each one of you being activated by the cosmic energy that has entered the universe bringing light vibration frequencies. So this is actually my understanding is this is actually the cosmic energy that we're going through now, and it is these bringing in these DNA activations for each one of us. Yeah.
And it is the highest love frequency in
Yes,
the universe.
that's right.
That's a
Right.
lot to take in. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Like that feels very unreal and hard to believe.
Mhm.
But you and I were just speaking earlier that all of this is hard to believe. And yet we keep getting confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Whenever I
That's
have a
right.
doubt, something will happen and say, nope,
It's not a doubt. You heard exactly right.
yes,
That's
yes, yes. And that most of the confirmations for others, clients and friends, it's you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now.
right, right. So that being the case, when I was meditating, after I heard her message, then Yeshua came in as well. Yeah, and said this.
There's a big day.
Yeah, Yeshua said, uh, "You will begin to remember and these are the activations that are being activated now, the DNA ones." And this is what he said: "You will begin to remember many dormant light codes that had laid dormant for many years. It was meant to be activated at this special time and place for purpose. You will soon see what that purpose is. Your new beginning is about to begin. We are so pleased with your growth." And then they said, "My angel, you have worked so hard for this time."
Would you feel comfortable talking a little bit about angel and how they talk, how they call you angel? Do you
Yes.
feel okay? Good. That's okay.
So I started hearing that angel calling me angel, and I didn't. I mean, it didn't. I didn't really think much of it at first, but then as I got reading from other people, they were telling me that the message for them to tell me was, yes, you are an angel. This is who you are. You're not of this earth. You are an angel, and you are here to bring love and peace to this world. Your words are very important, and you will be also, like I mentioned to you before, Saint Germain came in to uh, visited me in early morning hours, and that was like September of last year. And he said that I was chosen by the Most High to bring in messages of love for the world.
Yeah, and Rose, I wonder, I was just thinking about another one of my friends who is definitely angelic in nature. And I know that anybody who doesn't understand what's going on, or me even 2 years ago, like listening to this video would be,
Yeah, I
okay,
know.
so you're an angel. All right, see ya,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
knowing,
right.
yeah, knowing that it's what angels actually are, and they're not kind of the way I thought ever of them. It was more fantastical, and angels were, I don't know, they weren't hanging out with us. They weren't hanging out
Exactly.
with us,
They
and
were
I certainly didn't
your
identify with
neighbor.
them. Yeah, they're like somewhere else, and maybe would swoop down to like help us every once in a while, but
Right.
now they're here with
Yes.
us, and
Right.
maybe have always been, but they're saying that they're just saying right now they're converging down here.
Yeah.
Converging down here is what they just said, for something big. Um, and I feel it. I feel it. And so when you talk about like they call you an angel, first of all, I believe that. Second of all, an angel, there aren't hierarchies in the way we think of it.
Right. Right.
Like, okay, you're an angel, you think you're better than this or better than that, whatever. But you were put down here with this frequency, and it's almost like they're unwrapping you now.
They're unwrapping. Yes, they're bringing in that DNA, the dormant DNA. Right.
Yes. And so there are lots of people that will channel messages.
Yes.
And the thought that just came to me was, you could have been one in the last couple of years who have been channeling, or like Bashar, who's been channeling for 10 years, or, these people. Why now?
Why now?
The thought is, I want to hear what you think about this, is because right now people need the purest angelic form, now that the other people have kind of paved the way, that
Right.
channeling is like a thing now, like we get it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And this is the purest, it's the crystalline light, the purity and, of the light. It's the highest vibration. Yeah. Which is love.
It is love.
Yeah.
It is love. And also explains, like, and again, not that we are amazing, um, and better or anything like that, but it does explain a lot when I would just kind of twist my face and, have a questioning expression, like, why would somebody do that, and not understanding why
Right.
other people did things. And then it
Yes.
really turns me into being very angry and trying to be like those other people.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And not understanding what is it that they don't understand? why is it that they don't understand and
Not
fitting,
connecting.
not fitting there in that, yeah, not being able to fit into uh these groups or
Being an outlier.
yeah,
Always kind of like looking
feeling,
in, like somebody would
yeah,
say, oh,
like feeling
Jody
like
was
they're
popular or Rose
outcast.
was popular or whatever. But
Right. Feeling like an outcast. Yes.
yeah, and
So it
and
makes
it
sense.
not being a mental health thing, just being like different. And this
Different.
explains it, you
Yeah,
know, it
right.
just totally explains it to me. And then so when you and I started talking about um, the white robes and the Essenes, and when I started talking about my family, like a couple of the first messages I got were about my lineage, like before they
hmm
sent me to England, before they sent me to Glastonbury, it was like they said underground before I knew what ley lines were, and grid working and all of that kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
Um, but they also said lineage, and I have learned that my mom's side has volunteered an immense amount of karma, and I haven't even told them to explain this to them just yet, because I learned more about it on the trip. But they have volunteered for an immense amount of karma in this lifetime,
Wow.
purposefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, and when I was talking to you about it and our lineage, and you saying, I get those visions too of people with the white robes. And then we learned
Yes.
about the Essenes, and
Mm.
then I learned about the Druids. I didn't know that the Druids always wore white robes either. Did you know that? I just
No,
learned
I
that.
didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
like we're talking way back in the day, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and Merlin and
Yes.
King Arthur, and everybody's enamored with King Arthur, and you know, the Knights of the Round Table and the Holy Grail and stuff like that. It's just it's at a whole new level for me now that we
And
share those things.
now that you say the Holy Grail,
Yeah.
so in one of my channeling classes a few weeks ago, somebody did a reading for me, and they said, "Oh my gosh, I'm seeing the Holy Grail with you." Yes.
Yeah, like these are literally fantastical things that are
Yeah.
happening in real time.
Right.
Yeah, and
It's really mind blowing. It really is. And it's well, for me, and I'm sure for you as well, you start getting these messages and you're like, okay, well, how could that be? And then they confirm it. They confirm it.
yes, yes,
Yeah. And
yes,
there's like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what you're hearing.
yeah. Like I met Saint Germain at 3:13, which is my lucky time. I look at the clock when I'm talking to you just a little
Mhm.
while ago. It's 3:13, you know, and I used to think, well, what did I care about like showing up numbers or whatever? And now I've done enough um, hypnosis sessions, past life regression sessions, that when people are asking, you know, why am I seeing these numbers, whatever, they say, because we want you to know we're here. That's
Yeah.
it. It's simple. If you're going to look at the numbers and that's how we can get to you, perfect. That's an easy thing for
Yeah.
us to do.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, because
like little
when I
blessings.
first started my journey, I started seeing numbers.
Yeah,
And then so I looked up the numbers, they're angel numbers. And they were giving me messages.
yeah.
And so
I
then when
know
I
people
got a
Google them.
confirming, yeah, that's the message you were getting. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was in the car with one of my friends. She was having car trouble, and you know, so we're in the car, and she's like, I keep seeing license plates and numbers. I forget, I think it was like 89 or whatever. And I look ahead right in front of me, and two, not one, but two had that same number
That's
in front
enough.
of us on the car. You know, I'm like, okay, so the odds of that happening is, yeah, that's very slim. And if, you know, if this is the only way they can connect
Yeah.
with us and remind us, then, you know, we'll take it.
Yeah. And they start off that way, and then it just gets more and deeper, or you know, like in the meditation,
Yeah.
they start bringing a lot more information. It's like a puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have, actually, should I read it? Should I read the one that I have that I sent to you, the one from Mary Magdalene, because that was pretty amazing. The one from Mary Magdalene, and just learning about, are you Rose? Why are you so low down?
Right, the one that you read, and then I told you that I couldn't
The
sleep.
Yeshua one.
Yeah. And then
You said
I
you woke up at
started,
3
and then
a.m.
I got a channeled. I started, and I luckily I had my phone next to my pillow, so I started. Yeah, I don't know how I wrote it, but half asleep, but I could. Yeah,
But you wrote it down.
yeah, I wrote it down.
Here we go. So here's mine from
Mhm.
Mary Magdalene. And it says, they're really wanting me to embody and express what she did when she was here. And I think that's the hope for all of us, is that we do that. But I'm being guided to
Mhm.
learn more about her, so
Yeah.
that, or remember, they're just saying, remember um, what I was taught, and remember who she was, and
Wow.
that I'm a fractal of that, which is a whole other thing to go into. But anyway, so this is when I'm in France, where she lived out the last years of her life after the crucifixion.
Yeah.
It says, Magdalene, my voice, my sorrow, my heart, give to thee those troubles. They shall not rest in your heart. For you and you and you and they will soon, my dears, be shown the way. Every hour of every day, the path is laid out for you to remain, trimmed and fastened with so much care. Devotion to your journey will go somewhere. One must never forget that they are more than other. They're not different. They are so much more than just dark or the light. Instead of comparing in fight, consider this: you each have your plight. While one fights from fear and another fights for more, you must, my child, not fight or store any anger, resentments, or bitterness more. As we keep saying, this is what you are here for. Yes, here in France, as well as on ground, wherever you are, wherever you choose, aim high, my sister, in a spiritual way, and aim low in expectation. We mean what we say, that there truly is a whole new world heading your way, one you are now walking while holding sway. Christ is more than his suffering. He knew this then, as you've come to know this now, that you are one of many who took this solemn vow. Knowing now the importance of love, the material investments in reality only come from above. So do what you may to get the word out today, but know that there will be many, no matter what you say, that will cling to the old ways, and let them choose to go their own way. Yet honor them with light and the option to choose. Yeshua was always there for those encounters when those that need approach and ask. No one will deny this divinely guided map. For every single one of you is worthy of love. This is what we do. Today, now, and forevermore, let that light you have keep the score. for those who need, hurt, and struggle in times ahead. Lead the way in heart and never dread. You and they are cared for and loved. There is this reality in store from us here above. And you'll see, plus they, in soon coming days. Keep praying and singing as birds in flight. They know as you do, it will truly be all right. Love you, and love they too.
Wow. Beautiful. Wow.
I forget until I read it out loud, like how
Yeah.
beautiful it
Yeah.
really is.
It really is. Yeah. That is beautiful. And it's so true.
It is so true. And I forgot about the part that really struck me, even as I wrote it. And I wanted to stop and kind of like think about that because it stood out to me then. And a lot of times I'm just writing. Christ is more than his suffering. He knew this then, as you've come to know this now, that his life, like we talk about him or we remember him on the cross now,
Yeah.
right? But
Right.
in the early churches and in the Gothic cathedrals and the way that they were teaching, there was a build up for his ending and leaving the world that needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that they're saying a discrepancy, which we know there's a discrepancy in what he was teaching and what we say he's teaching now. But there's also the ratio of focus on the suffering versus focusing on his teaching. I think it's disproportionate.
Oh, right, right.
I think. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Like modern day churches, he's on the cross everywhere. And that is not to belittle what happened to him and the suffering that genuinely was for us. And I didn't understand that until recently. Like the Essenes gathered around him. They prayed for this whole thing. He and Mary knew what was going to happen.
Right.
That it was intended to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the lessons of just love and love and love. And at the time,
Before then, right? Yeah. Right.
yeah, and it wasn't about the books, like when he was talking to the Jewish elders, like not even talking about the Romans and stuff like that, but the Jewish elders, like get out of your books,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
out of your temples, even they're saying, get out of your temples. And he would talk about the body is the temple. Your body is your temple.
Yeah, your body is your temple. We are the temple. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can have church and save each other just by communicating
Right. Right.
and holding space.
Mm-hmm. It is so important to be aware of what you are communicating as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very sacred.
Yeah. Jesus was more than his suffering.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because there's so much emphasis on the part of his suffering, right? But let's put it back what he did before and even after. Right?
After, like the
Yeah.
resurrection, you mean?
Even after it. Yeah.
Yeah, and reading about, in the Gnostic Gospels
Mm-hmm.
and all of that, like work on your heart instead of,
Yeah, because everything is through the heart. Yeah. That is that's the key. Everything is through the heart to reach the highest vibration of love.
and I underestimated that until like literally just recently. Every time I would go to the senior center and I would do my music, the singing bowls, and I'd do meditations and
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
yeah, it was so fun. But a lot of times it was rainy days, which would mean, okay, we're doing a clearing today. That's what the rainy days mean that I know so far. We're doing clearings on people. and they had me do a lot of heart activations. I was like, I work in a different chakra. Like, it felt a little heart heavy and unbalanced. And now I understand, like, it's not about opening your heart so that you can be a nicer person, which was my very superficial understanding of it.
Mhm.
If you don't open up your heart, we can't open up our heart until we shed all of the hurts, right?
Mhm.
So
Right.
these groups obviously were ready to open up your heart, but then you can also receive love.
Yeah, that's right. And heal yourself.
Duh. Like I did these are the lessons that I have to learn by just like there, you want me to do the heart again? Okay, I'll do the heart again. I don't know why, but now, yeah. Every Friday it's raining and we're doing the clearings and we're doing the heart. I don't, but it is important. It is more important than thinking.
Mhm. Right. Because and what I've learned is everything is through the heart. Through the heart. For healing, communicating, anything. It always has to come through the heart.
So let's talk next week about the heart. I always say it, and then we have other
Oh,
messages and stuff, but I do want to talk about, I mean, the heart is like this decade's message.
mhm.
I think, we've been in this very masculine energy of thinking and doing. And now we're going to be in this feminine energy, this Aquarius, age of Aquarius
Mhm.
energy
So
of
it
the
makes
heart
so
and
much
feeling.
sense of the heart, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And does it mean that
Compassion.
we're going to be pushovers? Jesus
Compassion.
was not a
Yeah.
pushover, right?
Right. No. Mm-mm.
It's just different.
Yeah. It is. It is. So let me read the message that I got.
Yes, 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 please.
Okay. All right. So I was well, first of all, I couldn't sleep. And then I started getting a message and I'm like, okay, and it was 3 a.m. So
And
I'm
this was
going,
the night before last, right? The night
yes,
before last?
yes, uh-huh. And so this is what was said. Um, there will be many, many changes in the coming months as the universe is changing. Many lives will be taken, and those that are spared shall see the truth that has been hidden for deceit. This will be a massive cleanse of the universe, which must take place in order to heal the planet and universe. Do not concern yourselves with luxury or material wealth, as this is only superficial and will lead to further stagnant life. Embrace the new world and new life, as it is the only way to heal this planet. We are among you now, helping you to ascend to a higher vibration, to a higher frequency, and thus a new way of life. That is all. And so I just knew it was him, it was Yeshua, but I asked, I asked, who is bringing me this beautiful message? And I clearly heard his voice, and it was chilling. I mean, I got goosebumps. I heard him say, "This is Yeshua." And it was just so beautiful. Oh, it brought me to tears. Yeah,
And I like when he calls himself Yeshua.
Yeshua. This is
Just the
Yeshua.
whole frequency is so
Yes,
pretty.
the frequency was incredible. It was, yeah, it's hard to explain, but it just, it felt really chilling. I could hear his voice. I literally could hear his voice. It's
So much
beautiful.
I want to talk to you about Rose. And also I want to talk about what I learned about his halo.
Okay.
And do you get him shining sometimes
Yes,
when you see him?
yes.
Yeah, I'd love to get a message on that too. I think I'll ask the records if you want to meditate on that too. But
Sure, sure.
there are lots of stories about incel incel, I think I'm saying incel stones, if you want to look
Hmm.
those up. But some of the
Okay.
great masters, yogis, enlightened masters had these crystals. Their bodies turned, I don't know if they usually say they turned, but we use that term crystalline all the time. Like, what's
The
crystalline?
crystalline,
How
yeah.
does that work with our body or whatever? When you look up incel stones, I think it's INCEL, I'm not sure. But when people would say Jesus glowed, like literally think of his body having crystals, you know,
Yeah.
and that makes the glowing.
Wow.
It's a physical change that,
Yes. So
again,
it
is
makes sense.
unbelievable until
Right.
you read about it. And like, what?
Right.
People are like have crystal stones? Yes, these enlightened masters, Buddha and all of that,
Yes.
found crystals.
That's what they worked with, the crystal stones, right.
But
And
the
I've seen
king,
them. Yeah. And they became, yes, I have seen them. I've seen the stones in the crystal beds. I mean, in the meditations. Yeah. Beautiful.
yeah. So in my sessions, in the QHHT sessions, so the first part is, you know, we're talking and questions and everything. The second part is going back to other lives. Sometimes they will just go straight, they being the guides,
Hmm.
will put people, forget about the past lives. We're just going to go straight into a healing center. And those healing centers are, I don't want to say always, but really close to always, crystal caves,
Yes. It's a
rocks.
crystal thing. That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crystal caves. I mean, just
yeah.
beautiful. Crystals everywhere. I mean, huge crystals. And then the crystal bed.
And
Right.
different colors for different things.
Rainbow colors. I've seen rainbow colors. Yeah. I've seen rainbow color through my hands.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Coming from?
Yeah. Literally from my fingers. Yeah.
I believe you. I totally believe you.
I
Like, I
mean,
always
yeah,
have my
I was
eyes
like,
closed, like, who
what?
knows what's going on? But that's a nice image. I'm going to think of that now, too. What is it, like Lucky Charms? Like, awesome. All right. Thank you, Rose. I'm going to post this today um, as soon as we get off.
Sure. This
And I'll
has
talk
been
to you next
great. I
week, if
love it.
not before
Yes.
then.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Jody. This has been fun.
Thank you,
Lots of
Rose.
information coming through right now.
Yeah, we'll keep up.
Very exciting. Yes, yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.